For over 700 years, Akershus Fortress has stood as Norway's ultimate symbol of power and protection. But behind its stone walls lies a history of torture, betrayal, and spirits that refuse to rest. Are you brave enough to uncover the haunted secrets of Norway's most terrifying castle? Deep in the heart of Oslo stands Akershus Fortress, a symbol of power and resilience. But what if I told you this ancient stronghold hides a darker, more chilling secret? For centuries, whispers of ghostly figures, tortured souls, and a cursed demon dog have echoed through its cold stone halls. Visitors have reported strange noises, shadowy apparitions, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. This isn't just a fortress, it's one of Norway's most haunted places. Are you ready to uncover the terrifying secrets of Akershus Fortress? Akershus Fortress isn't just steeped in history, it's drenched in fear. Over the centuries, countless chilling tales have emerged from within its walls. One of the most terrifying legends begins at the gates of the fortress, where a ghostly guardian is said to roam, striking fear into all who cross its path. Akershus Fortress was built in the late 13th century, during the reign of King Haakon V, to defend Oslo from enemy invasions. Over the centuries, it has served many roles: a royal residence, a military stronghold, and even a prison. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the fortress became infamous for holding political prisoners and criminals in its cold, damp cells. Many of these prisoners faced brutal torture and executions, and some say their restless spirits still roam the grounds today. In World War II, Akershus was occupied by the Nazis and used as a site for both imprisonment and executions of resistance fighters. The fortress's long and bloody history has left behind a legacy of eerie tales and supernatural sightings. From its towering stone walls to its dark underground passages, Akershus Fortress has stood as a silent witness to centuries of tragedy and terror. But is it just history we're feeling here, or something more sinister lurking in the shadows? Akershus Fortress is not just a historical site. It's also one of the most haunted locations in Norway. Over the centuries, chilling tales and ghostly legends have surrounded this ancient stronghold. Let me take you through the spookiest stories linked to this fortress. Among the chilling legends tied to Akershus Fortress, the story of Malcanisen, the demon dog, is one of the most terrifying. According to legend, Malcanisen was a massive black dog with glowing red eyes, cursed to guard the gates of the fortress for eternity. It is said that anyone who locks eyes with this spectral hound is doomed to die within days. The origins of the tale remain unclear, but many believe Malcanisen was once a loyal guard dog who met a violent end within the fortress walls. His spirit, filled with rage and betrayal, is said to haunt the grounds as a vengeful protector. Witnesses have reported sightings of a shadowy dog roaming near the gates, its growls echoing through the silent nights. Some say the air grows colder when the dog is near, and an eerie sense of dread washes over anyone who encounters its spectral presence. Tourists and guards alike have shared stories of hearing heavy footsteps behind them, only to turn and find nothing there. Malcanisen's legend continues to captivate and terrify visitors, making it one of Akershus Fortress's most infamous ghost stories. Would you dare to visit its gates after dark? While Malcanisen may guard the gates, the true horrors lie deep inside the fortress. In the damp, dark dungeons, prisoners endured unimaginable suffering. But even in death, it seems their torment wasn't the end of their story. Akershus Fortress's dark history as a prison is the root of many ghostly tales, particularly those involving the spirits of its former prisoners. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the fortress held countless criminals and political enemies under horrific conditions. The cells were cold, damp, and overcrowded, and many prisoners faced starvation, torture, and executions. It is said that the suffering endured within these walls left a permanent mark, and the spirits of these tortured souls now haunt the fortress. Visitors and guards often report strange phenomena: faint cries echoing through the halls, whispers in empty rooms, and the unmistakable sound of chains rattling in the dead of night. One of the most chilling stories involves the dungeon, where prisoners were chained to the walls for months, left to die in misery. People who venture into these areas often feel an overwhelming sense of unease, as though they're being watched. Some claim to see shadowy figures lurking in the corners or feel sudden, inexplicable cold spots. The stories of the prisoners' restless spirits serve as a haunting reminder of the fortress's grim past. Even centuries later, their pain seems to linger, leaving visitors to wonder if they are ever truly alone. The prisoners weren't the only ones to meet a tragic fate here. There's another spirit who wanders the fortress, her sorrowful presence felt by all who encounter her. She's known as the Woman in White, and her tale is as heartbreaking as it is haunting. Among the ghostly tales of Akershus Fortress, the legend of the Woman in White stands out as one of the most chilling and sorrowful. According to the story, she was a young woman accused of witchcraft centuries ago and unjustly imprisoned within the fortress. After enduring brutal conditions and likely torture, she was eventually executed. However, her spirit is said to remain, wandering the fortress grounds in search of peace she was never granted in life. The Woman in White is often described as wearing a flowing white dress that seems to glow faintly in the darkness. Witnesses report seeing her pale, sorrowful face before she vanishes into thin air. Her appearances are unpredictable. She has been spotted near the fortress gates, walking along the corridors or standing silently in the shadows of the courtyard. Visitors have reported feeling an eerie chill whenever she is near, accompanied by a deep sense of sadness. Some even claim to hear faint weeping echoing through the halls late at night. Her story embodies the fortress's grim history, and her ghostly presence continues to captivate those who dare to visit. Is she a restless soul, or merely a reflection of the horrors endured within Akershus Fortress? Her sorrowful presence is only one part of the fortress's dark history. For many, their final moments weren't in the dungeons or the halls, but in the Execution Courtyard, where death itself seems to linger in the air. Akershus Fortress's Execution Courtyard is one of its most sinister and haunted locations. During the fortress's long history, this courtyard was the site of countless executions, where prisoners, including political dissenters and criminals, met their grim fate. Many of these executions were carried out publicly, serving as a chilling reminder of the power held by those in control. The fear and despair experienced in this space are said to have left a permanent, eerie imprint. Visitors to the courtyard often report a heavy, oppressive atmosphere, as if the weight of the past still lingers. Many claim to feel unexplained cold spots even on warm days, while others experience an overwhelming sense of dread or the sensation of being watched. One of the most terrifying phenomena is the sound of phantom footsteps, as if someone is pacing the courtyard. Some witnesses have even claimed to see ghostly figures standing where the gallows once stood, their forms barely visible in the dim light. The Execution Courtyard is a stark reminder of the fortress's dark past and its role in countless tragic deaths. Those who visit often leave with a sense of unease, questioning whether the spirits of the executed still linger, unable to move on. And yet, the fortress's grim history doesn't remain in the past. Even today, visitors and staff report encounters with the unknown, as if the spirits of Akershus refuse to be silenced. Let's explore some of these modern-day paranormal sightings. Even in modern times, Akershus Fortress continues to send chills down the spines of visitors and staff. Many who visit the fortress today report strange and unexplained occurrences that hint at its haunted reputation. Paranormal investigators and ghost hunters often describe Akershus as a hotspot for supernatural activity, capturing eerie evidence such as shadowy figures, mysterious orbs, and disembodied voices on their equipment. Tour guides and security guards working at the fortress have shared countless stories of unsettling experiences. Doors are said to slam shut on their own, lights flicker without explanation, and heavy footsteps echo through empty corridors. Some guards have even refused to patrol certain areas at night after hearing faint whispers or feeling a cold hand brush against them. One popular tale involves visitors taking photographs only to discover ghostly apparitions or shadowy outlines in the background that weren't visible at the time. In one case, a tourist captured an image of a woman in a white dress standing in a deserted corridor, a figure eerily similar to the infamous Woman in White. These modern encounters suggest that the spirits of Akershus Fortress are far from silent, keeping its haunted legacy alive for those brave enough to explore it. From cursed dogs to restless spirits, The haunted tales of Akershus Fortress remind us that history is never truly silent. Akershus Fortress is more than just a historic landmark. It's a place where history and the supernatural collide. From the cursed Malcanisen to the sorrowful woman in white and the restless spirits of the past, the fortress holds secrets that refuse to stay buried. Even today, visitors feel the eerie presence of something watching, something waiting. So, what do you believe? Are these just stories, or is there something truly haunting Akershus Fortress? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for more chilling tales from around the world.